In a world of increasing mental health challenges, psychology and faith can both provide tools for healing and wellness. This is the idea behind Journey on My Mind. Each episode, our panel of pastors and therapists sit down together to share their experiences and insights on the modern world's mental health issues: depression, loneliness, aging, addiction, and so much more. Join us now as we explore what it means to thrive at the complex intersection of spirit and psychology.
Born ready.
Look at that.
Born ready.
Yes. Welcome. Welcome to another Journey on My Mind.
Did you just say giddy up?
Giddy up.
I heard giddy up. Oh, he spun it around.
We're trying to decide how we all ended up being dressed the same.
Well,
This is Edwin's hat.
no, it's not, Dave. He wore that in today.
Good call. Good call.
What was the over the top?
Dave,
Remember that when you spin the hat around?
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yes.
How many baseball hats do you have?
Baseball specific?
No, like
ball
hats like
I
this.
have probably about.
These are baseball hats.
Okay, I wear a few of them consistently, but I probably have about 40 different
40
different hats.
Okay.
Options.
Dave? Three specific ones that you could name?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many do you have?
I have about 10.
Yeah.
I wear one out and I throw them away.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
That is just.
I keep
a-
mine.
I have-
Maybe that's why I have 40 of them. I keep all my worn out.
I have a blue one that I wear when I wear blue stuff. I have a black.
You color coordinate?
Yes, I have a green one.
Okay.
That I wear when I wear green.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention to what you're saying because I am so distracted by
And
the
I
visual
am
over
a-
there. I have got to get
And
rid
you know,
of this
I like
thing.
certain brands. So
Yeah, I do too.
Jeep. I have a Jeep hat.
Okay.
'Cause I drive a Jeep.
Yeah.
And I have a. These are my son's games. I have those.
Okay.
That's
Most of mine are like Vans or Santa Cruz or like,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
But I literally, was like we were just saying, I wear a hat
My
except
sports
for
teams.
weddings and funerals, pretty
right.
much.
I have them for my sports teams
Yeah.
that I like.
Yeah.
The Vikings and the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
But other than that,
That's it.
that's
Well,
it. That's my 10.
And now you know.
Yeah.
Scintillating.
Yes. Well,
Scintillating.
I mean, why buy hats if you're not,
Yeah.
if it doesn't have some kind of meaning at all, right?
Because it was a good deal.
Yeah, or somebody gave it to you to
Yeah,
promote something.
that's
Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah. And if you don't like to wear hats,
Well,
Dave.
It's not that I don't like to. It's just I think we have a little evidence of why.
I don't know.
I think that was
I
just
think you look good.
awful looking.
Yes.
I think you
Yeah.
look good.
Yes. It's
One
not
thing
your
is I have a
trademark.
very tiny head. Like
I do too.
I think Edwin has a normal size head, but his hat looks like it is a
golf
canopy
gigantic.
over my head.
Yeah.
I just have a little.
Yes.
We always talk about how how the relationship with the Earth to Jupiter.
Yes.
That you can put all these Earths. to
Yes.
Jupiter. That's how my head is to Ellen's head.
and-
Like Ellen has a big head and I have a little tiny head. I'm like I could put like 100 of Dave's heads inside
Inside of
of it.
that. Well, you think she'll have thoughts?
It's not a
about
good
that?
hat.
I'm not saying anything.
Ellen's head is huge.
I mean, she and I talk about it. It's
has-
not. This is not a diss on Ellen.
Is there moons that orbit or?
Yeah, she's got like orbiting planets, moons.
That's right. I love Ellen.
Hopefully she doesn't
Cracks
listen to
me
this.
up. Dude, Sunday was a trip. Her and Mike. just
Oh, I
felt
know.
like I was dying on Sunday.
Ellen and Mike need to take the show on the road.
I know they really do. It was hilarious.
It is.
I wasn't here on Sunday.
Oh, it was so funny,
Was it
man.
good?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good.
And then she gets the car. She goes, "I apologize." I'm like, "Why do you
Why'd you
apologize?" This
To
is
me.
35 years of.
Yeah.
so-
I'm used to this. Huh?
Right. This is how
Right.
it goes.
That's
and she
really
goes,
funny.
"This was just today. I'm like, today? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, act like this has never happened before.
Right. She's the one that instigated the whole thing in the first place.
I know.
That's
it.
what Mike was saying Sunday. He called her out. It was funny.
All right.
All right, here we go.
So we're talking about the psychology of fame and the relationship of fame to church and
Right.
relationship of fame to. So yeah.
Yes.
So I think honestly, the only person of the three of us that has some measure of fame is Sam Barnhart.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So
Lord
I don't
knows
know that I would call
I
it
don't
that.
have
I
any.
don't know that I would call it that. Infamy,
But
maybe.
you-
Compared to us two.
Oh, okay.
But you've written books.
Yeah,
so you
that's
have
true,
you have
Dave.
some
You've got
pockets
some.
of
It just depends on what world you're operating
That
in.
may be
right?
true,
I mean,
may be
to
true.
a certain extent.
but there's
We're pretty sure I don't have any.
Man, in the EV3, man, Kev
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. In the EV3.
You were
He's a rock
the
star.
guy
Yeah,
back in the
right.
day.
I doubt it.
So
Yeah.
you have and have had some measure of fame with you. For people who don't know, you're part of a band that did really well called Bleach.
Yeah.
Cut like 7 albums, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And lots of tours and
Yeah.
lots of influence and all that. So
Doing some callbacks this year.
Yeah.
So I'm asking this honestly. I'm not trying to put
Yeah.
you too much on the spot.
It's all right.
But did you desire fame? Like, was that something that when you were thinking about, like, I love being a musician, and was that something you wanted as part of that whole package of like to be known and to be famous and all that? And I'm not judging it. We're prejudging.
Totally.
Okay.
I don't know that I ever thought about it that way, because it wasn't ever anything that I had in my framework for what life would look like.
Okay.
So it started, just in college, I was studying to be a youth pastor, and then, as we started playing and things started growing, I think for me, I just always loved the access I had to people.
Right.
And so it was more about knowing, like getting to know, like we didn't call our fans, we just called it was our friends, so we tried to, not in the sense of like, I want to awe people through my awesomeness or something, nothing like that ever. I think.
Did you like the idea of being recognized and being known?
I'm sure that fed some part of ego.
Okay.
Right. Like that. And I think the thing that I loved about that was I felt like people knew me, and then I could get to know them too. Like it still felt like there was an exchange in that.
That it was a relationship.
It was relational, not as much like I'm up here. I've never been the person that likes the ivory tower kind of mentality or rock star mentality. For me, it was all like, we're doing this, and the only reason we get to do this is because you guys like what we're doing, and we'll buy those records and come to shows. And so it was very much community to me in a lot of ways.
I want to come back to that, because that's a point I want to hit on, is that sense of relationship that people have to fame, as a famous person or as a person who is relating to a famous person.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
What did you want in your green room when you were setting up?
Yeah, what were your special demands?
Special green room requests?
Where they take out all the brown M&Ms?
That's right. No, we did. I mean, it was real basic. It was just like,
hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Yeah.
Hot dogs.
Yeah. Usually green rooms were like snacks and stuff. And
I think this is a good way to describe Sam had hot dog fame.
Hot dog fame.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Hot dog fame. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. And pizza.
And
that's great.
So a lot of pizza.
Lots of pizza.
A lot of pizzas. Yeah.
So, and do you have any kind of like, neither of us are famous people, but have you had any relationship to fame, either with famous people or with?
I've known a few people that are probably would be famous.
And certainly people have come through journey that are well known and recognizable and in different realms. So that's certainly true.
Yeah.
Is for you, have you ever desired to be famous?
I have not. It's not something I've ever aspired to or prespired to. Actually, it has a little bit of a. I judge people who are famous.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
You're judgy.
I am, especially when they act entitled. Entitlement within that realm where they feel like they should be treated a particular way.
Yes,
should have a voice in something that doesn't concern them
because of their
position or their fame.
Their fame.
Their influence.
Or their wealth.
Yes.
Or, their status in some way.
Yeah. And so I struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I've been leveraged by some of those people and saying, hey, I contribute a lot to this church. I should get ... And
kind of like, you guys should listen to me above other people.
Yeah. And the moment somebody does that, I'm done.
Your hackles go up.
Oh, and it goes beyond that. I lose my mind.
Kind of
I'm like, you can't do that to me.
Kind of game over.
And I will. Do you know how much money I give to this church? I could give a rat's tail.
Booty.
That too. How much money you give to this church? If you're going to leverage it for your own benefit, it doesn't matter.
Huh.
So
Ooh,
Well,
Kevin.
you ruffled something up in Kev.
There's something about that just lights my fire.
Yeah.
Now, there's certain things that light my fire. That's one of them. That and people driving on my grass. Can't stand it.
But either one of those.
Does that happen a lot?
No, not
Okay.
anymore. Not anymore. Oh yeah, but that's different. That's more. I am fans of that. That's.
I was thinking about this, that I worked in radio for 6 or 7 years. I've written a good number of books. I've done a lot of speaking, probably spoken 700 times in different places. And as I was thinking about it, I mean this honestly, I've never desired to be famous. So I was thinking, how does that all square up?
Yeah.
And what I realized is I have a high need to communicate, but not a high need to be recognized.
Right.
Or recognized as the person who's doing the communicating. Just I have a high need to get ideas out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I pick relatively anonymous. I mean, it's about as anonymous as you can get to do radio.
Yeah.
Like I did major market radio in 2 major markets.
You do have a
And
face for radio.
100%. I mean,
But with a hat on.
Man, makes totally different.
it changes. The hat changes the whole thing. And same thing with podcasts. I mean, even though this is now video, it's like very few people are getting famous from
Right.
there are a few, but Rogan and so on, but Theo Vaughn and all those guys. But I realized, like, how does this square? Because I've actually been averse to it, but I've also done things that
would lend itself
put me in the
to
public
it.
square.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, okay, I pick radio so people don't see me. I write, people don't know who I am. Speaking is very niche. Like you speak to 100 people or 500 people or whatever, and that's kind of relatively contained. So, but yet I've known people who are, I can't obviously say more, but I've known clients, I've known people in my life who have some degree of fame.
Yeah.
And I think they handle it or have a relationship with it in different ways. Some of them healthy and some of them not.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've seen that, I'm sure, very close up.
Yes, that's.
And I'm not even talking about you per se. I'm saying, like,
In the industry.
You've been up close with very, like, name recognition, face recognition people.
Yeah.
And so speak to that. Like, have you seen the range of people that have a healthy relationship to fame and an unhealthy relationship to fame?
100%. And, in our era of when we were, fully at it, there was just a lot of kind of rock star mentality, it felt like, and a bit of a elevating above the people that
the hoi polloi.
Yeah. And that always, like, Bleach were the antithesis of that. For us it was like, we'd hang out before the shows with kids and people, and then we'd go to Waffle House after. Like, it was just, we always tried to make ourselves accessible. And I feel like that helped temper the tendency to elevate or to was we put ourselves out there as just dudes that felt really lucky to get to do this. It was not on any of our radar, and it happened. And so we just kind of kept that. We're just one of many. We're one of everybody, kind of,
Feel free not to answer this directly, but have you met someone that you can name that is a famous person that you think they have a really healthy, balanced relationship with fame? Like they're able somehow to be down to earth, humble, approachable, emotionally and relationally healthy. Can you?
I can think of somebody that immediately comes to mind.
Tell me.
You guys probably, I would imagine, familiar with a band called Switchfoot. And I went out and guitar tech for them a couple years ago, just for a tour, and I think collectively those dudes all are that way. And specifically, I think of John Foreman, who people would know, like, is one of the most humble, down to earth, loving, like, chill, really sees people very well.
Cool.
And he's that dude is, he could be this rock star.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not who he is. He's just a really amazing dude.
So do you think that, and this is speculative, but do you think that guy was just that guy who then became famous and then brought those traits into his fame, or do you think he had
That's a good question.
It's a great question.
wrestle with that to kind of wrestle down the downside of fame?
Right. I that's a great way of putting it too, Dave. I think John was always been John, and then has navigated the things that have come his way, like the fame and the opportunities, just as probably the same guy he was when Switchfoot started and nobody knew them.
Do you know how old he was when he got famous, or roughly?
I mean, we're pretty similar. I think he
was in his 20s.
Yeah, it was early 20s because we came out at the same time. So I was 21, I think, or 20 when our first record.
So he's around there.
And they came out, I think it was a year after maybe. So yeah.
See, that makes
20s.
it even more impressive because what the research says, not to get all wonky on this.
No,
but
we didn't. I want to know what the research.
Yeah.
Says.
Well, when people become famous early, it does something not good to them most of the time.
Yeah.
And when they become famous later in life, and I define later as being 30s, 40s, and plus.
So
50s,
keep
60s.
going. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Kevin, there's still hope for you.
There's still hope.
But usually the people that are younger who become famous, it does a number on them. Now, I'm not saying that's 100%. I'm just saying it's very frequent.
Yeah.
And
that makes a lot. That math adds up.
But you think somebody like John, who probably is 21, 22, certainly younger than 25, and is a well-known, famous person, successful, that is even a higher degree of, that speaks well to him. Of him.
Yeah. And it's who he is. It's legit.
So again, speculative question.
Yeah.
This isn't the John.
It's all right. No,
But what, from your observation, was the way that he, he brings these values and personal qualities and traits into it, but he's still being met with all this, these pressures and these sort of things that can warp you a little bit.
Sure.
How do you think he navigated that?
Well, I think he's surrounded himself with really great people as well. I think the people who are on that team and the other guys are all, I think, wired pretty similarly in that. And I guess he just always made himself available, in ways. And so I don't know if it was just continuing to put himself out there as just a dude that kind of tempered the tendency to let that go to your head or whatever. But I feel like he just was very similar in the sense that he's one of us that, happened to be the guy holding the guitar and writing the songs that everybody's singing, but didn't see himself more than that.
Everything you're saying, though, is relationship, context, community, right? That's the stuff that offset it.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. He's around other healthy people.
That's right.
By and large.
Yeah.
He created a community with the people he was around, and then beyond
the broader community of that. Yep.
So that feels like a point not to miss here.
Yeah.
Is
sure.
that right? If you're going to be a famous person who's emotionally healthy, you need that.
Yes, I would say that's because once you get isolated, and once you start thinking that it's true, that you are something better than other people, and no one's telling you you're not.
It's just this echo chamber of I'm awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous road.
Well, and I think too, like always keeping themselves in it, like just like John, I've always experienced him as somebody who's like always been like curious and
that's a good word.
And I'll say this in a way, I don't mean it out myself, but like teachable, like always a learner, always curious, and which I think aligns with that curiosity. But and not surrounding themselves by yes men. Right, like it's easy to do in this world, in the music world, because there's a lot of people saying yes to whatever,
right?
And so, especially when you get to a certain level of that, of fame, or it's everybody wants to be seen and wants to be part of it. So, I think surround yourself with people who will tell you the truth too, right? That'll be honest with you about.
But there is a stage persona that happens, and it's different. And I've found that the people that are similar to who they are on stage and off stage are less, I'm not sure, I can't think of the right word.
Unhealthy or unbalanced?
Let's go with that.
Unbound. I think that's a good word. Yeah,
I was going to say less offensive to me.
Yeah.
Less offensive to Kevin.
Yeah, that's right.
Specifically Kevin.
Because it's the simple thing. I knew a guy that when he was relatively famous in the little community in Pennsylvania, and he had his own radio show, and it was Christians, and when he prayed in a different voice. He prayed like, oh, you know,
use big words.
Oh Lord, we beseech thee. Amen.
And he leaned into that persona in ways, and I was like, and then I knew him away from that, and I was like, dude, what's with that?
I think
he did not take that well, by the way.
But that's something that something that always, I think, played in, at least in my mind. I absolutely do. It's like, I want to be the same person on that stage and off that stage.
For sure.
Now I get, we're performing, we're putting on a show, like we'll have some fun with that. But it was never for us either. It was never a just watch us. It was like like including the, people in that. And so, yeah.
But that kind of stuff, it just was like, hey, you're talking to God. You're not making a show here.
Yes.
That was the other part. That's where I think Christian fame is.
Yes. It's an odd thing.
I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. And let's hold that, because I think that's where we want to drive to. Is like, what is the relationship of fame to the church and fame with faith and all that stuff?
Sure.
Let me drop some psychology on you.
Drop it, Dave, or drop it.
Well, here we go.
Boom.
Here we go.
So, again, as I've told you before, I like to ground myself in not just like my opinion or whatever, but what does research say if we can find it? And there's actually a lot of research on fame.
Really?
There's there's a good body of research on fame.
It's a good movie back in the 70s.
I'm gonna live
80s. Okay, stop.
Irene, was it Irene Cara?
No.
I don't know. My wife could tell you, I'm sure.
No, anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
It depends a lot on how somebody becomes famous and why they want to be famous, or do they want to be famous? Like the story you're telling, you weren't necessarily, maybe on the pie chart, it was a little sliver of like in the back of your head, that'd be kind of cool to be a rock star.
Totally.
But it wasn't the driver.
Right, 100%.
And so how healthy someone is in the context of being famous depends a lot on how they got there, but also why they got there.
True.
So some people are very driven by status, influence, validation, things like that.
Yep.
Those things often go sideways.
Yeah.
Right. Now, some people are driven by wanting to leave a legacy, or wanting to benefit other people. Sometimes some people are driven by wanting to use it as a vehicle to make money. That's mixed, but it really does depend. And that there's a term in psychology called fame orientation, and that some people are inclined to it and some people are not. Some people, if you ask them, and this would be like a random person, you go out, just grab a person and ask them questions. Some people would love to be famous.
Yeah. Wow.
And other people are like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a fairly stable trait. In other words, if you measure that when someone's 20 and you measure it when they're 40, it's relatively stable that people desire that. So it's interesting. It just depends. It's hard. What I'm going to tell you is, and this is not a book plug, even though it looks like a book plug. And the reason it's not a book plug is because anyone listening to this show is not the audience for this book. Okay. So that's why.
So no book plug.
This
coming,
is the
no book club.
The Bible. Read the Bible.
Read the no plug book plug.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you brought it.
I brought it.
Yes.
I wrote a book called Working with the Wealthy and Well-Known, and I didn't think it was a book I was going to write.
Wow.
But the reason I wrote it is because we just started seeing people in our practice that would show up that were wealthy families and then well-known people.
Yeah.
And over the years, they were like, this is a different breed of cat. And what's the research say? And it really it came out of that.
That's
so
cool.
At first I was like, it feels a little tacky to write a book like that when there's other populations of people that have less privilege and less stuff that we need to.
Dave, the print's small and there's no pictures.
Kevin won't read it.
But the reason I brought it is to say, basically, if I had to summarize this very simply, there are lots of benefits to being wealthy. There's downsides to being wealthy. There's considerable downsides to being wealthy. But there's very few upsides to being famous. Like there's a lot of good stuff about wealth. But it also poses risk to people in terms of their character and their tendency to be narcissistic and entitled and all those kind of things you're describing. With fame, it is like the example you gave with John, that's the outlier. It's hard to find a healthy person who can navigate it. And this does not speak ill of the person. I'm just saying the kind of stuff you're up against when you're famous is unlike what we have to deal with.
Right.
I mean, your every follicular movement of your, eyebrow is analyzed and scrutinized. Your every public appearance at the grocery store, anywhere.
And especially now in the age of social media,
it's even worse.
It's like,
right.
Yeah, it's
and so
pretty intense.
I looked for quotes from people about like what's good about being wealthy, what's good about being famous. I found very few that were like, what's good about being famous. But I'll read this quote from these researchers. So this is a study, and the reason I brought it is to read this quote. The experience of being famous is something for which no one is prepared. It is a world described as bizarre, surreal, scary, lonely, creepy, daunting, embarrassing, confusing, and invasive. All right. These are researchers. They collect all this data, and this is their conclusion, right, from the interviews that we've had. And then this is a quote from a famous person they interviewed. They don't name who the person is. And this is what this person says. Fame 101 is needed to teach people what's coming. The swell of people, the requests, the letters, the emails, the greetings on the street, the people in cars, the honking of the horns, the screaming of your name. A whole world comes to you that you have no idea is there. It just comes from nowhere, and it starts to build, and it builds like a small tornado, and it's coming at you and coming at you, and by the time it gets to you, it's huge and can sweep you off your feet and take you away and put you in a world that has no reality whatsoever, because all the people are judging you on what you do for a living, not who you are.
That's so true. I remember like the first couple of reviews that we would get, and like, I'm a 21-year-old kid. My brain's not even like fully developed, right? Like I don't even know.
As opposed to now.
Hold on. Now it's still not.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But and like you're writing songs that's just for us. We just always tried to just write from our heart, and to have somebody tell you that's awful, and you're laying yourself kind of bare in front of them, like all of those things. Yeah. Like what you just described is very true. And mine was a small tornado that never got turned into a huge tornado.
Right.
But
you never became Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But enough that you experience a lot of what you just described.
So it gave me a tremendous amount of empathy to kind of get into this, because there are some people that their motives for being famous may be, not the healthiest.
Right.
Like I just, want to be validated, and I want to, have this status and all that. But regardless, when somebody's there, man, the tornado hits and it changes your life. Yeah. Usually not for the good.
It does.
Is there a big difference between being famous and infamous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. The being infamous is without question. I mean, well, here's this. There's a little nuance to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's much harder on a person psychologically.
Yeah, I can see it.
But in our social media culture, this is the twist, is that people have learned that they can twist infamy into big money,
making money,
and big influence,
for
and
sure.
big, right. And so that distinction has eroded.
Okay. I wondered.
That's a great question. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, because there's that poor kid that at a Cubs baseball game, playoffs. His name's Bart, and the only reason I know this is because he interfered with a play that.
Right.
And his face was plastered on TV, and he became infamous. Overnight. Wow. He had to leave Chicago
from just.
Oh yeah. Well, you read these things about the Target kid.
Yeah.
I forget who that was, but and how that kind of changed the trajectory of his life, not in a good way.
Right.
You're seeing these stories
like
about
that Phillies lady.
The Phillies lady now.
Like it's
the guy at the US Open and all, like these people, like for us, this is like a passing sort of amusement. Right. For them, these are life altering.
Well, it's like people moments. Lose their jobs. They lose.
Well, Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That she's famous.
Yeah.
But also, I would say she's infamous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
she kept her name, which is
Well, it started out in.
I think I'd have
now
changed my name.
I feel like there's a lot of conversation that.
Yeah.
You know, in a
She's being re-envisioned
yes,
in,
yeah.
in the
in a
public
better
square.
way. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, sorry.
No,
No, that's
sorry.
great. That's a great.
That's great.
That's one of those.
But to kind of pick up on the relationship piece of it,
Yeah.
you know, one of the things I've seen with, and this is true with wealthy people too, but with famous people, is you often see them maintain relationships with people that they knew before they became famous as their primary inner circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not having relationships because it opens up so many questions of why do you want to be in
Everybody
my
wants
life?
something from me.
Why are you
no trust?
like? And so you have these people that are going to be either yes men or they're going to laugh at all your jokes and they're going to be so warm to you, and you have no idea why that person wants to. Like, are they going to be by your side?
Is this an ulterior motive
Right.
here, or is this? Do they really
Right.
care about me?
And I think that's huge. You think
Right.
about
It is huge.
how important having close relationships are with a partner, with friends.
Yeah.
And when you hit this level of fame and you have no idea,
Yeah.
why does this woman like me? Why do these guys seem to want to be like, why do they think I'm so
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
and so like charming and so like,
Yeah.
Am I really?
and am I really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happens when the bottom falls out
That's
of this
right.
career? And
Right.
are they going to be beside me? And what happens if they have the opportunity to undermine me by sharing a
Yeah.
inside story or secret?
Yeah.
Man, talk about
Yeah.
what that does to
Yeah.
a person.
That would
You know
be rough.
what's one thing that's interesting, like for you're talking about maintaining those friendships, those pre-fame friendships. I'm just thinking about even like Bleach. Like we were all just buddies in college.
Yeah.
and we stayed buddies with a lot of the friends that weren't part of what we were doing necessarily, and they were great. You know, they'd always be like, you guys suck, or you know, they would just keep you humble and I can be being funny in fun
Right.
ways.
But you knew why they
But
were there.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is less of fame and more wealth. But we have, I always joke about, we have rich friends that
Yeah.
take us on vacation.
Yeah.
And they're 5 couples, and they take us all on vacation, and they're great vacations. And all those couples are college friends,
Yeah.
all
Right.
of them,
Yep.
right? And makes the point. It's like these are the people that we knew before
Yep,
that we can trust, and we know why they're in our life.
that's right.
Yeah.
And you see that with people, and I don't know that people criticize this, but people observe this a lot. Like you have professional athletes, for example, that their entourage are all high school buddies,
Yeah. They're posse.
right? And then
Yeah.
sometimes that gets criticized. But if you think about it through this lens, it's like, well, these are the people that were with them before they made a lot of money and
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they became well known. These are the people they feel like they can trust.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other,
That's really good.
The other angle on relationship. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because they were friends before they got famous.
That's right.
Yeah.
The other relationship angle I want to go to
Okay.
is what you were saying with Bleach and having this relationship with fans. I think that's an outlier in a good way.
Okay.
The example you were using.
Okay.
Because there's all this research in psychology about what are called parasocial relationships.
Okay.
And it is that
Yeah.
in relationship to fame, there's the famous person and there's the fan, and the fan comes to believe they have a real relationship with the. And I don't mean in a delusional way.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's that too.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
stalker
for
delusional
sure. There
stuff.
absolutely
But
is.
there's this feeling of I am in a relationship with this person because I'm so all about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things about what that does to people, and
They dress like them. They do the
right.
Yeah.
Yours is actually different because you guys did have relations. Like
Yeah.
you went to Waffle House
Yeah.
with people and you hung out and you called them friends and they really were.
That's right.
And you could, like you had a reunion show and you had people drive from wherever,
flying
other
in
states,
from all different
and you
places.
knew their names
That's
and
right.
you knew them by face and
That's
name.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's different. That's not a parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
But there are, it's this phenomenon where we like to attach ourselves to famous people.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
we feel like we sort of
get
have
something
some
from them.
ownership of that.
Yeah. Their
Yeah.
success is my success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because we loved any relationships that came through our, with Bleach. I mean, there's obviously the ones that are going to just kind of play out more deeply. And then there's some that stayed more kind of surface or for that,
Yeah.
but it was still, for us, I just think that the authenticity of that was really important.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But I would say that's unusual.
Okay.
You know,
For sure.
And for just practical reasons,
Yeah.
like Taylor Swift
Yeah.
cannot have
Totally.
relationships with fans.
Yeah.
She cannot. It's not. It doesn't say one thing about her. It just
It's
that's
impossible. I mean,
that's not a
can't talk
possibility.
to
She can't go to
100,000
Waffle House
people.
and have.
That's
It'd be
right.
mobbed.
She couldn't.
It would be mobbed.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's beyond. Yeah.
Well, and I'm
yeah.
also. I think
It's also dangerous.
I have a gratitude.
It is.
I have a gratitude for like, you know, that it never, like for Bleach, it was never so big that we couldn't keep doing that stuff. And I
Yeah, it was right in the sweet spot
yeah,
of
it was
fame.
for
It really
for,
is.
for a person like me for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's just kind of stick the landing.
Okay.
do it.
All
Let's stick it.
In our culture, we have this sort of fascination with fame. Even though we know fame's not good for people, if you do surveys of people, lots and lots of people, and I forget the exact number, but lots and lots of people, percentage-wise, want to be famous.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a high number.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Like, are you talking like 60, 70, somewhere in that?
Probably half.
Okay.
45, 50, somewhere in
Okay.
there.
But a
Mhm.
good chunk.
That's
somewhere in
still
there.
a
That's a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
We know celebrities will say, it's not good to be famous. Like you get quotes
Yeah.
from Tom Hanks and
Yeah.
you name it.
Yeah.
And they're
Brad
like, this
Pitt.
isn't good.
Yeah.
And yet we want that. And our American culture values that, idealizes that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this bleeds over into church where we start to celebrate fame, become attached to fame. So we have all this sort of strata of celebrity pastors, and we have celebrity congregants, and we have celebrity like outside guest speakers, and we have
Worship
celebrity
leaders.
musicians, and we have
Like
celebrity,
all
all
that.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Your thoughts about the relationship of fame in the church?
Right.
There you go. And there they are.
If you ask me,
I'm
like,
asking. That's
you ask
what
me.
I just did. was
and I
ask.
get that, and I believe there's probably 90% of people probably will disagree with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
That's a high number, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's high.
Just so you know.
I would say that there's no space in the church for elevated fame for people because it devalues others. And it puts them in a place where only God belongs, where they're getting accolades for something that was God-given. They're getting, and it's, for me, and do I like good music? I do.
Yeah.
Do I like a good speaker? I do. Do I like, I would prefer to listen to somebody who's engaging than that's not. I would prefer to listen to people who hit notes and to ones that don't.
Sing on key.
And making
Yeah.
the point that people
But-
are sometimes famous for a reason.
Right.
Like they have talent.
Oh, they are. But I would rather listen to a humble speaker who isn't engaging, and I would rather listen to humble musicians that don't hit every note. Because I think the relational component of a church is built on the fact that we're all equals. And there should not be a platform that separates anybody or elevates anybody above anybody else.
So I'm
I'm
almost
saying this as nice as I can.
No, I'm with you, but I just want to. I'm almost 100% sure this is what you're saying.
Okay.
and not saying. But I just want to clarify.
Okay.
You're not saying there's no place for a well-known or famous person in the church.
Nope.
You're just saying that there's not a place for that person to be famous in the church,
Correct.
as it were, or
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
elevated in the church.
Because I feel like what
we
you
can't
experience
be
in that's
fans.
an aspect of worship, and like it's like
Right.
this worship towards
Right.
another person. or
We're
a-
not fans.
right, right.
People in churches are not fans of other people in the church. We're
Should not be.
We are not.
Right.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
That's not what the church was meant to
Not
be.
called to be that.
It wasn't meant to create celebrity. It wasn't meant to elevate people beyond everybody else in the room. Paul made tents. He was a super apostle. He was amazing. He was all the things. And yet he went into, and he was humble, and he made tents, and he said, if there was anybody that was a celebrity,
yeah,
it would have been him. And they didn't treat him that way.
Right.
They stoned him at a few places.
yeah.
So there's a disconnect in today's American church with because of the advent of, Christian music.
True. That's a big part of it.
The advent of writing books in such a way that you get on a speaker list and you go around and you hold conferences. And not to say that some of those, conferences aren't valuable, but I've hosted some of those conferences at a church and met the people behind the book. And I will never do it again.
You didn't experience.
I will never do it again because it's about them. It's not about the message. It's not about Jesus. It's about them. And the moment I learned that was frightening to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And then I met a lot of people in the CCM world.
Yeah.
Is that the right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, or music world or CCM. Yeah.
I would say, the behind the scenes of that soured me. I don't even listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
Now there's some good people in it.
Totally. There absolutely is.
But the industry itself, I'm out.
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore because it's taken something that I think was meant to honor God and it's turned into something else. This is, again, Kevin Dixon's opinion.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
Yeah.
But that's been my experience, and I think it devalues other people.
Good words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last thoughts?
Yeah. I think when we elevate somebody just because of the thing that they do into like this godlike state or an above or better than, like I've just never been about that. I don't understand that.
Right.
And I don't obviously I don't think it's the correct
Right.
way to be.
And Sam, you've never done that. So
well, thanks, Kev.
Yeah.
And I also think, and I'm not trying to flatter here, but like Mike within the space of being a well-known
person
teacher, in Christian teaching circles.
Yeah, totally.
Mega church,
not so
well-known
mega church,
positive, right?
not so mega
well,
church.
and on purpose though.
Right.
And like I've heard him say, this is his act of repentance.
Yeah.
And so like he shows up and he's wearing flip-flops and shorts and he's very much downplaying and never putting himself in and intentionally did not become an elder to put himself in a position of power.
Right.
I think is a good model also.
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing we have glimpses of like, okay, someone can have talent that elevates them into being recognizable, famous, well-known. But there are ways to do it, and
they're honoring God with that rather than just
themselves,
glory for themselves.
Yeah,
I mean, even our stage is 6 inches tall. We don't elevate anybody in this place.
No,
it's
just so you can see.
Intentional. Yeah, it's intentional.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway. So no, I think we're landing in a good spot. Is that
we're trying
is that we have to particularly. This is true for all churches. A church here in Nashville where it's a good church, it draws people. We have to have a sort of, I don't know if theology is too big a word for this, but a philosophy and a theology of fame within the bounds of our church. It's like, what is our interface? What is our relationship?
Because there's a lot. We get a lot of people who are famous that come to the church.
Which is awesome.
Which is fine. But they're just one of us.
Yeah.
Right? We don't treat them any different than we treat anybody else.
And I love that that's, mostly the experience too. Is it just people come in and just jump in the flow?
And I would imagine it creates safety for them as well.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. I didn't know you wrote a book on it though.
That's awesome.
Stop.
I want to read that book.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And the weather today is lovely.
Now, after all this. Oh, thanks. You got your weather report.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Journey on My Mind. If you enjoyed it, please help us spread the word by leaving us a review and sharing it on your social media. Journey on My Mind is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III is the show's producer with technical assistance from Randy Hansen. Grant Opperman edits the show. If you have a suggestion for a future topic or a question, you can text us at 615-861-9503. And if you would like to talk to someone about spiritual or mental health issues, you can email our care pastor, Sam Barnhart, at sam@journeytn.com.